drink this shit. It smells good.
I haven't even smelled it.
It smells like Knob Creek.
It does smell like Knob Creek. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of another bourbon show. Tonight we're going to be drinking another sample that our buddy Ryan, you provided it. I mean, you didn't pay anything for it, but you sent us some samples, and I'm looking forward to it. I looked up a little bit of information about this company. It's called the Cooper family, and they're in Fayette County, Texas, which is it's the middle of nowhere between Austin and Houston, and it happens to be the town or the county in which the town LaGrange is from. And LaGrange, of course, being ZZ Top's biggest song. Come on, people. No ZZ Top fans? What the shit?
Not a ZZ Top fan, but I did play Guitar Hero, and I'm with you, Dan.
Okay. So that's where the distillery is located. I had a hard time figuring. Sorry. We're drinking Sweetheart of the Rodeo from the Cooper family. Show off the bottle, and Steven, let's get a rating on it.
Ryan said last week, by the way, that he thought I would hate this. He was ready for me to shit on this, but I think it looks pretty good, actually. Now, as for the lady, I mean, I'm not the guy to be able to contextualize whether or not this was an attractive woman back in the day. Okay. But the overall aesthetic, I'll say, it's not the prettiest to me. It's just like, I can't judge whether or not she's the sweetheart of the rodeo. If you were like, can you show me a picture of somebody that died on the Titanic? I'd probably pull out a picture like this. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like.
Cowboy hat and all.
Yeah, exactly. If you got a cowboy hat, you're definitely not making it out of the Titanic. Okay. They don't have fucking room for you. Okay. But I think it looks okay. I think it looks, the label looks nice. It looks like the sweetheart font, and then the of the rodeo, all that font right there looks nice. It looks distinct. There's not a ton of bottles that use that. But at the same time, it looks like a Reba McEntire album. So I don't love that. So I'm going to give it a 6, kind of middle of the road, another 6, but it's above average, I think. And I think that it does look nice. But if it's sitting on the shelf, I don't think I'd buy it because of the label. But it does look nice.
Okay. All right, and this is a 90 proof. It's
from Oregon.
From Oregon. Throwback. There we go to last week when I fucked up. Thanks a whole bunch, Steven. But I think I saw that it was like 71% corn. I don't know the rest. Do you happen to know, Ryan?
75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley.
Okay.
Aged 4+ years, and it is the lot 1 small batch.
Okay. Now, I do know that this was distilled at MGP, but aged in Texas, from my understanding. Is that correct?
That's what I saw too.
Okay. Yeah, so that's all I really know about it. I am confused with the name Sweetheart of the Rodeo, though. And this is true story, because there was a band, a country music group called Sweethearts of the Rodeo, but they're an LA-based country band. And then there was an album called Sweetheart of the Rodeo by the Byrds.
Yeah.
But they're an LA band also. So I'm really confused why a Texas distillery is like, gotta call it Sweetheart of the Rodeo.
I imagine that's the nickname or the story behind the lady on the bottle. I assume that she was the sweetheart of the rodeo, like some fucking Texas thing.
Does it have a name on there or anything? Like, who is that? Who's the lady?
No. No idea. She doesn't look like a sweetheart.
I mean, maybe she did. Maybe she was
That's why I said I don't know what she would have looked like back in her day, in comparison to those in the parlance of those times. But here
Yeah, maybe
Ryan
she
is
was
like
super hot.
she doesn't look like a sweetheart.
Modern
Come on,
beauty
look.
standards are not the same as they were 100 years ago or 20 years ago for that matter.
I think Ryan's beauty standards are that of like the 1950s, maybe. That's more
If
his
she's
speed.
not in the kitchen. And he's not even trying to deny it. Like it's not even. He's like, why would I deny it?
Your words, dude.
He did stop in his tracks though from whatever he was gonna say. He's just like, you know what? Let's taste this shit.
Well, what do you say we give it a sip?
Let's do it. And as I was saying earlier at the top, I think it smells like a Knob Creek product right off the bat. If you want to know what it smells like, just go smell some Knob Creek bottle.
I agree.
It's that peanutty, the beam smell.
It's got a really great nose. Like I'm getting citrus and some sweets and some peanuts and yeah, just all around. It's got a really great nose.
Some butterscotch too.
From the pictures I saw online, I thought it was going to be darker.
Yeah, it's very light, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more of a like honey color than I thought it would be based on what I saw on the website, but killer nose.
Cheers.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, it tastes good too. I like it on the palate a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very nutty. Some spice at the end. A lot of spice. Definitely tastes more than a 90 proof.
It does. Like it's got more flavor. Like I'm not getting like it doesn't have like a punch like it's a higher proof to me. But it's very full of flavor.
If you bottled this and you told me that this was like the new Booker's bottle, I'd believe you.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Like this is better than I expected.
Yeah, I honestly didn't try it until now with you guys. I didn't want to try it beforehand. I like it more than last week's, that's for sure.
Take that for a ranch, catching stray bullets on the Sweetheart of the Rodeo episode.
Yeah, that's got a really good flavor to it. Like
Yeah,
it's got some sweetness. It's got some sweetness to it, but it's also got some complexity. The finish has got like a lot of rye. Like I'm getting a lot more rye from it on the finish than anywhere else. But
yeah, it kind of lingers thereafter.
Yeah, and like a legit spicy, peppery rye flavor to it.
And some caramel.
Yeah, caramel, vanilla. What kind are you getting? Cherry?
Little oak.
Little oak, yeah.
I think on the end, rather than just spices, I get some like orange rind or something. Like it's almost like it almost tastes like what some teas smell like, some like herbal teas or something.
So like on the finish, I can agree with you. So the finish for me, it's a whole lot of rice spice right up front, and like peppery rice spice, and then it fades. That fades away, and then I get that, and I think you nailed it with the orange rind specifically, not orange, but specifically if you were to like take just a little bit of the orange zest, that's there. And then that fades away a little bit more, and then I get some oak and maybe some like a savory type of a I can't pinpoint the savory flavor that I'm getting at the very back end of the finish. But it's complex. It's really good. Now somebody gave you this bottle, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I brought a bottle down for a friend of mine in Texas. Just something I had. And because I got a couple things for you to try. So the Frey Ranch and then Sweetheart of the Rodeo. and I hadn't seen either of them, but obviously they're easier to get in Texas from the sounds of it. Yeah, so I didn't know what to expect. I saw it. I'm like, I'm going to try it on the podcast with you two. Don't want to. I mean, I guess I could have tried it earlier, but I have so much whiskey. It's like unopened too, so I'm like, oh, I'll get to it later.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting much. I mean, honestly, the bottle's just okay looking. It's kind of boring looking, so I didn't have high standards of it. It's really good though.
Yeah, this is one of those bottles that, like, I can't imagine somebody disliking it at all. Like, it's I can see people loving it, really, really loving it, and I can see people being like, "Meh, it's okay," but I can't imagine anybody actually disliking it, because it's got like something there for rye drinkers. It's got something there for like your standard sweet bourbon drinkers. It's got something there for your Jim Beam fans. Yeah, it's just a really well-rounded whiskey.
It's not a Sazerac product, so I think you're gonna not win over some of the bourbon fans. I think some of those guys are gonna give it a pass for that reason alone.
But I can't see somebody disliking it, right? Like, maybe they don't get excited for it. Maybe they're not like, woohoo, got myself a bottle of Sweetheart of the Rodeo, so I'm going to get 5 likes on Facebook. Because that's what Sazerac people are all about. But I can't see anybody...
I don't think this tastes like much that's in the Sazerac lineup, though, either. Or maybe I should say Buffalo Trace, more likely. I shouldn't go that
Buffalo
broad.
Trace. I agree.
So on the Buffalo Trace side, I feel like it's, which I mean, a ton of people are just Buffalo Trace product drinkers, and those people are not going to like this, I don't think. So if you are one of those people, just know that I don't think you're going to like this, not just from a status standpoint, although it's probably that a lot, but it just doesn't taste like much that's there. This is, like you said, there's so much rye, there's so much spice to it. There's really not a lot like that in the Buffalo Trace lineup. So
It is distinct. At least how I am perceiving it. As soon as you take a sip, almost tastes like a caramel apple or like a green apple a little bit. Kind of get that sweet appley note to it. But I got caramel apple off of it. But then it almost immediately, as soon as you go, oh, that's sweet, immediately that goes away. And then it's all that high rye, that baking spice, like spicy note at the end. It's really well rounded. Like you said, you get people like me who like sweeter bourbons. First sip, you're like, oh, that's really good, and then it levels out and gets a little spicy. It's really cool on your palate.
People that I think would really enjoy this whiskey are fans of Wild Turkey 101 specifically.
I can vouch for that.
Like, I'm not trying to say, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that it is similar to Wild Turkey 101, but it's got some of those same characteristics. So I think a big fan of Wild Turkey would really like this.
Another one that we have not had on the podcast, but I think it's similar to me, is one of the Redwood Empires that I had was similar to this. And I know that you and I talked about it at the time, Dan, and you said that, you kind of just gave it a pass at the time. But I think that bottle is worth revisiting. I kind of fondly remember it now in retrospect. So I'd have to get another bottle and try it out to see if it's as good as I remember it being now that I've had so much more whiskey. But I liked it quite a bit at the time, and it does remind me quite a bit of this, whichever one that I had. I think Lost Monarch, I think.
Lost Monarch? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember which is the one of their original 3. They've released more since then. But the original 3, I think it was Emerald Giant that I preferred. But maybe not. I don't remember.
Really hangs with you. Has a long finish. Like we mentioned the finish, but I don't know if we mentioned how long it is. It's a long finish.
Surprisingly long for a 90 proof. And I'm wondering, so one of the topics that I've been thinking a lot about lately, because it frustrates me so bad whenever I hear people bad mouthing sourced whiskey, because just because something's sourced doesn't mean it's good or bad. It means that literally nothing. But I'm wondering if this is like a contract sourcing situation where like the Cooper family tells MGP the mash bill that they want, the yeast that they want, and this is not just like a standard off the line buying standard distillate, but basically the Cooper family cooking in MGP's kitchen and then shipping the distillate down to Texas to age. I'm curious because this does not remind me of anything from the MGP lineup. Like there's nothing that I'm like, oh, I bet this is the same distillate, the same juice as Remus Reserve, but then aged in Texas so it has a different flavor. Like I'm not getting that feeling at all. Like it doesn't remind me of anything MGP. And that could just be because it's aged in Texas instead of being aged in Southern Indiana. I don't fucking know.
That hot Texas sun
Makes a big difference.
That's the kind
It
of
is hot down
insight.
there.
That's the kind of insight you can look forward to from Ryan every episode. He's like, "Yeah, Texas is hot."
Texas has a sun. Sun shines in Texas.
Well, they mentioned that in the bottle, the warm Texas winds, I think.
Well, I have to ask a question. Do you guys want some breaking news?
No,
Okay.
no,
Yeah, we're good.
we do. Please, Dan, please give us some breaking news.
No, this is so exciting. I'll be surprised if anybody releases this sooner. So to the 10 people that listen to us on a regular basis, you guys are going to be in the know likely before anybody else.
Even though this comes out next week.
Yeah, this is getting recorded on January 31st, and this won't be released until next Monday. So even at that time, it's likely that this is where you're going to hear it first.
And Dustin Diamond is back, baby.
I sent him another picture of my taint. That's the breaking news.
Oh, no, I'm getting more breaking news. Dan, still dead. Dustin Diamond's still dead. You heard it here first. Go on.
Oh, shit. Okay, so
ABS
breaking news.
exclusive.
Tomorrow, a second ago, Steven, you mentioned High West. I have it on good authority that tomorrow, High West is going to be distilling a new product for the very first time. So we won't be able to taste it for like 4 or 6 years. But tomorrow is the first distillery run of a High West wheated bourbon. They're doing a wheated bourbon for the first time in High West history.
Wow.
And it's going to be coming out of the still tomorrow and into barrels tomorrow. And that's a big deal. Like, that's a completely new product line for High West.
And do we know how long it's going to be aged? You said 4 to 6 years, but okay.
So, especially with it being the first run, like, there's no way a decent distillery is going to say, we're going to age it this long. They're going to see how it progresses. If it tastes great after 3 years, they're going to start bottling it. If it's not ready, they're going to keep it in a barrel and keep aging it until it's ready to be bottled. But wheated bourbons handle age a lot better than rye. Like, that's the reason you see 21-year-old Pappy Van Winkle, because it's wheated. And rye is affected by age way more than wheat is.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really unusual to see like 15-year-old rye whiskeys. You just rarely see them. Even the Eagle Rare 17, like that's a 17-year-old, but it's that's their low rye mash bill. But you're not going to see a 17-year-old Blanton's because that's their high rye mash bill. So yeah, I would guess 4 to 6 years, and it'll be available on the shelf. But it's still just it's still huge news that like they're trying a wheated bourbon.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah. So
no,
I thought I was
no
pretty
name
excited.
yet, huh? No name that we know of.
No, not
Just
yet.
The yet to be named High
But
West.
you know it's going to
wheated.
be fun.
Yes. That's why I was curious about it. Most places I wouldn't ask. You know what I mean? Because I'd just be like, oh, it's going to be Knob Creek wheated.
Yeah.
High West, they're going to do something that's like Jack Puppington's. And you're just like, what the fuck is this?
Where the fuck did that come from? Crazy sons of bitches.
Or it's going to be wheat with like an exclamation point.
Yeah.
In 2 E's, no A. But yeah, they'll have fun with it for sure.
And if
Yeah,
it
but I'm
sucks,
looking
they can
forward
just
to it.
bottle it as Midwinter Night's Dram, and then feel like, oh, it doesn't taste like how it usually does.
It'll be Midwheater's Night's Dram.
Oh my God, that's what the name is going to be for sure.
Yeah.
That's of course what they're going to make it.
Midwheater's Night Dram. Yeah, so I was pretty excited to get that news.
Nothing on Dustin Diamond, though.
Nothing on Dustin Diamond. He's still dead.
Okay.
Still absolutely dead.
We should do more updates from time to time on that, I think.
Yeah.
Bob Seger, still alive.
Okay. That's
a
worth
shame.
checking into.
How long
What do
has
you
it been
think about
since Dustin died? Has it been like a year almost, or no? Right?
Fuck, I don't know. Let's look.
We gotta.
We have the power of the internet.
We gotta honor him if he died, like, it's coming up. It's probably. In
I
the
think it was
summer or
warm.
Spring.
I think I remember
I thought
doing
so
a
too.
pour, and it was spring, I think. Oh shit! Tomorrow.
No way.
Oh my
Tomorrow.
God.
February 1st, 2021.
So this is our tribute episode. I mean,
In
if we would have
Cape
known
Coral.
last week.
Holy shit.
Wow.
It's like there's some, like, how twins have the telepathy? It's like us with a dead Dustin Diamond.
Yeah. I feel like he was with us tonight.
If we were in person, we should have a Ouija board out.
People are gonna think we looked that up beforehand.
Dan, pull up an online Ouija board. There's got to be an online Ouija board we can screen share and do real quick.
Hold your mouse lightly on the pointer and follow it as your answer is revealed.
What do we want to know from Dustin?
Dustin Diamond, are you with us? Whoa. Did you receive my taint picture? Oh.
Space.
Ooh.
Who?
Yeah.
Who doors? Who darsk?
You dork? Ooh, dork?
You dorks. Did you? That is a Screech thing to say. Like, did you receive my taint picture? You dorks.
Why didn't you call us?
Oh, it tells you what the response is below. It said too dark.
Oh.
So his taint, your taint was too dark.
It was not. There was great lighting. Like, I made sure that the lighting was fantastic. Oh, what's these? Not see.
Why didn't you call us? Not seen. Oh, he didn't see our call.
All right, what else should I ask him?
Ask him what rating he would give this bottle.
You Unknown. This piece of shit. This isn't real.
Yeah, I'm really starting to doubt the legitimacy of BrainJar.com's
Seriously.
Ouija board.
Yeah.
You'd think that a website that had multiple overlaying Motorola ads would really get the Ouija board right.
Exactly. Like, I don't understand this at all.
Ask who will win the Super Bowl.
Ask if the Motorola Edge has an ultra smooth display.
I like that better. Let's see where we go here.
Oh, damn.
Motorola. Oh, shit.
You
Somebody
did,
just got
you
dropped.
did spell it wrong, though.
Oh, shit. You're right. Too many L's?
Too many L's.
Let's try again.
This could be the difference here.
Oh,
Damn.
Brain Jar, you might have just lost a sponsor. Hey, you know who gained 0 sponsors? Us. This is not the content that leads to sponsorships.
What other bourbon show does a Ouija board on the 1-year anniversary of Dustin Diamond's death?
Well, what do you say we rate this bottle?
For Dustin.
Yeah, since Dustin didn't want to help us out here, let's go with Ryan. Let's have you lead the way.
Yeah, I really like the sweetness in the front, that caramely apple, like butterscotch. I forget what'd you say, Steven? And then the back end, the orange rind, right?
Oh, yes,
like,
orange rind. And I thought it was like almost an herbally taste, very subtly, with obviously like oak and regular notes and stuff.
Yeah, but it's definitely well-rounded. I usually don't go for the stuff that's like, that's spicy on the back end, but because it was so like almost decadent in the beginning, and then as soon as you think it's decadent, that's completely gone, and then the spice just lingers the back of your throat for. I mean, I haven't had a sip in probably 3 or 4 minutes, and I still taste it. I'm gonna go with 7.7. I really liked it. Obviously, I probably wouldn't levitate to it if I, was at a store. I'd probably go for something I'd like a little bit more, but it really surprised me. I did not have high hopes for it. I didn't really like the bottle, and I thought the color was a little bit too light, so I thought we were going to have a Penelope 2.0, but yeah, I was surprised it wasn't.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and go next, if you don't mind, Steven.
Yep.
I'm going to stay in that same range as Ryan, but my mind has been set at 7.4 for a while now. It's a great bottle. It's a really solid pour. One thing I don't think we mentioned earlier is that it's SRP is like $42. And at $42, I think that is a perfectly acceptable price for this. The one thing that it sucks is that when I was looking at the distribution, like it's really hard to get it outside of Texas. Like not in Oklahoma, not in Arkansas, like the adjoining states, really hard to get. I haven't looked to see if you can get it on Sealbox or, a website of that nature. And that doesn't affect the rating that I'm giving it, the ability, the inability to acquire it just based on geographic location. But I think it's a 7.4, and I think it's a really solid pour. At $42, I would happily pay $42 for this bottle. Happily.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a nice little spread here because I'm going with an 8.2.
Oh,
I know it's a little high, but that's the number I immediately thought of, honestly, after I drank it. So I'm sticking with it. And I'm glad to hear Ryan's not far off. So I think we're all pretty close. But I liked it a lot. And I think that there's enough uniqueness to it that I wanted to bump it into my 8s. Like you and I talked a lot, Dan, about how there's not a ton that tastes like this. And I think that I could just recommend it to so many different people to try it out. And there's not a lot else I have to say about it. I just think it's a really solid, especially at $42. It's a really solid bourbon to try out. And I wasn't expecting it at all. And in that way, I think it's a kind of a diamond in the rough.
Oh, look at that. You're proud of that, aren't you, Steven?
Yeah, I'm closing on that.
show. Another bourbon show. Another bourbon show.
You have Zoom recording of us watching the sex scene from Showgirls as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
The two worst sex scenes in history involve Saved by the Bell alums.
Okay, I'm glad this is still recording. You got to include that. Okay? Just remember, an hour and 40 minutes into the recording, grab that and put that in somewhere.